Hello everyone, this is Dr. Bhavani Narayan from VrikshOnline, and this time we are bringing to you research tools in chemistry. This is going to be very useful for PhD students, MSc students and PSc students. Students are getting into research at a very young age these days. Suppose you're writing a term paper or you're engaging yourself in any project, this is going to be really useful for you. We are going to teach you how to read a chemistry paper, how to search for a particular paper, how to get your relevant results, how to put down your results, how to write a research paper and how to publish it. We will be also discussing analytical tools in this, so stay tuned for that. Let's begin. So today we will go through the first video of reading a chemistry paper, that is reading a chemistry paper 1. And let us first see what are the types of research papers in chemistry. We have 3 major kinds of research paper. One is a review article or book chapter or perspective. I categorize it under one category because these are basically accounts of what others have written in a systematic fashion. Then there is another kind of research paper which is communication. These papers are basically short and crisp. And then we have full papers giving a full account of the work. These are very detailed papers. So let us have a look at it one by one. This is chapter number 1 from a book called Functional Organic Liquids, and this chapter is called Room Temperature Liquid Dyes. Here you get a detailed account of this whole topic. So if you are a newcomer to any topic, it will be very wise to read a research review or a book chapter to begin with. So suppose you don't know anything about it, it will give you all the details. So there will be a wide introduction, then there will be all the kinds of subtopics that a person needs to know, and they will be discussed in very much details. So this is an ideal thing for a beginner. This is a review paper. There are many journals like Accounts of Chemical Research, Chemical Reviews that are very famous for review papers. Even papers like Nature have reviews, so you can go through these, and these are also very useful for beginners. To get an overall hang on the topic and what is currently done, a review gives a total account of that. Even a book chapter most probably gives an overall account on that. So first of all, you should see the title of the review and see whether it is suitable for your research. Then you will see this table of contents in most of the reviews. And in table of contents, you will see various subtopics. Like for example, here I have introduction, I have the self-sorting. So this review is on self-sorting phenomenon. And here I have the self-sorting definition. So to begin with, for a beginner, we don't know what is a self-sorting. So we begin with definition, types and influence of external variables. Then we begin with the next topic and so on. So all these topics are there. You can go to any topic and then read up. So this is what a review looks like. It is usually extensive. So you can see that all the pictures, all the diagrams are also exhaustive. And then we have these kind of schemes to explain things. And this review will span around, say, 10 to 20 pages or maybe more than that. So you can see a review is a very exhaustive account. Students usually learn this in the beginning years to get a good hang on the subject. At the end of the reviews, of course, there are references to other papers, and this references also runs very exhaustive because a lot of papers will be referred during the course of a review. So here you can see that in a review, we have around 200 references. So there are 244 references for this particular review. So this is what a communication paper look like. Now, this paper is only 3 pages long or maximum of 4 pages. And say we have the title again. Above the introduction, there'll be a very small abstract. So you can see the small abstract and judge whether you want to read this or no, whether it is relevant or not. Then you will have an introduction which runs to say 2 paragraphs for a communication. And then we have the overall scheme or whatever is the important figure of the paper. And there would be very few figures in the main paper in a communication because there is not much space allocated for a communication. So what happens to the other data? Because in a scientific research, you need to publish and support with all other data. All the other data goes in the supporting information. Let me show you what the supporting information of this paper looks like after showing you this paper. So see, this research paper is 3 pages long. there are references at the end of it, and here there'll be very short space for the references as well. So there are around 21 references here. This space varies from paper to paper. Like usually they say the communication has to be only 3 to 4 pages long. So as a beginner, it is easy to read communications. So they are short and they finish fast. A communications, half the data would be there in the supporting information. So the supporting information has no limit. You can put all the data here, and all the things of supporting information are free of cost. For a journal article, you need to pay the amount or download it from an institution who pays the amount for that. Some journal articles are free, but most of them you need to pay the amount or become a member in that to download those articles. But supporting information you can get free of cost. And this is basically what a supporting information looks like. Usually table of contents is given at a beginning. This particular paper I've chosen because its supporting information is very small and it's good to learn for a beginner. So we have, say, the general methods in a synthetic paper, we have the characterization part, and then we have supporting figures. So in the general methods, we write down which instrument have we used and all that. So all the instrumentation technique, and then coming to the next part, synthesis and characterization, because this paper is on synthesis. We will discuss this in detail in the next video, so please do watch our next video. And then at the end, we have all the remaining figures which we could not put in the main text. So these are the supporting figures for the data which we have written in the main text, but we don't have space to put there. So it comes here, and the reference of these figures goes there. So you can see there are few figures to support the information or support the scientific content there. Let me show you another communication which will be of a similar structure from a different journal. This is another communication from Angevante Chemie, which has a very good impact factor. And this paper reads auto resolution of segregated and mixed PN stacks by stereoselective supramolecular polymerization in solution. So here also you can see a similar pattern in the format. So there is an abstract where you get a little more space for abstract in Angevante Chemie. So you can write a little longer abstract if you wish. So there is a abstract, and then there is an introduction. So these are the introductions. And then here you have the figures. So here also only 3 to 4 figures are allowed. So the rest of it goes in the supporting information, and those come as references here. So for example, you can see that here we have referred figure 1A, which is on the left hand side. Sometimes what you need to do is go through the figures well and understand what is there in the paper. If you are an expert, it's very easy to see the figures and at least understand what is the main content of the paper and see if it interests you. So again, there are few figures, and then towards the end there is a conclusion, and then there are references. Definitely the journals have a part called acknowledgements, where you acknowledge the funding agencies and the people whom you have taken help from. So then there are references here. You can see these are also limited to say 18 to 20, not as exhaustive as the review paper. This is the supporting information for the paper we just saw from Angevante Chemie. Here again the title is there, and then the author's name would be there. There would be the paper's code, and then it will be written supporting a material. So that is SN. And then we come down. We see again the table of contents here. So this format differs from author to author. If you wish, you can make a table of contents like this. If you wish, you can give another pattern to this table of contents. So we have the general methods where we have used, where we'll put all the technical things that we have used, all the methods that we have used, and then the synthetic methods, then all the synthesis that we have done, and then comes all the other figures that are there. These are full papers. So many journals offer full papers, and now the pattern of a full paper will be such that this is more elaborate. There is space for more figures here if you wish to. There are more than 4 pages here given for you to write. So people usually write 7 to 8 pages of full papers. So let's look at this paper. So this paper is entitled Self-Assembly of Pi Conjugated Amphifiles, Freestanding Ordered Sheets with Enhanced Mobility. And here also, as in all other papers, there is a small place for abstract where you in brief write down what is the content of the paper, and then we have an introduction. Look at the introduction of this paper in comparison with the communication. This is pretty long. You can see it runs for around 4 to 5 paragraphs. Then there is a part called results and discussion. Here you can say in detail what are the methods used or what are the design and synthesis used. It is based from journal to journal format that we'll be looking for in different videos which are coming up. So we have here the design and synthesis, then we have the self-assembly. So you can write it as per. The figures are also quite exhaustive and big. So you can see a big figure and a big caption here, and a very detailed account of all the studies. Usually these things go sometimes in the supporting info in the communication papers, but a full paper can accommodate all this very nicely. A full paper is a very neat work to read, so everything will be there in the paper, but it takes pretty long. So if you are not trained, it is easy to start with a communication to get a hang of reading papers and then go to full papers. We have all the experimental section here only in the full paper. In the communication, we have it in the supplementary information. So you can see all the characterizations are given here. Supporting information is also there for a full paper where you can put in additional information. So if you think your work is a big work which can be written as a story, better go for a full paper rather than a communication. I now show you what the supporting information of a full paper looks like. Now here, as I told you, again the supporting information is free of cost. You can put how much ever information you want. So it can be either short or long depending on the writer's need. So here you have the title of the paper, you have the author's name, and then we have the supporting information, again the correspondence of the people and table of contents. So you have synthetic schemes, supporting figures in this, and then all the schemes can be a little more elaborate, a little more neatly you can show. You can write all the details here. So you can see there are more figures here. All the figures which could not be fit big in the full paper are here, with all the scales and all the supporting things of the data. These must be referred in the main paper. This cannot just hang on like that in your research paper. I hope you got an idea what are the different kinds of papers today. How to read a paper part 2 will have more of it. Stay tuned, and we will then make a video on reading a chemistry research paper 2 in which we go step by step, a little more depth into how to do this. And also stay tuned for how to write a chemistry research paper. So please do subscribe our channel, contact us for CSIR UGC NET classes. Thank you.